Well, here it is. It has started. And again, I don't believe it's World War III. I just believe it strikes. But here's the thing to think about and what everybody's missing. What is Iran? Why are we worried about Iran? Now, I don't believe the Trump administration is actually being forthcoming. I don't believe it has anything to do with just Khomeini and threats of nuclear war. I think that's an excuse. I think it all deals with China's implementation of the use of the oil in the Strait of Hormuz. I think that is really what it comes down to. Also, Iran goes after several other countries too, by the way, in these strikes. We're going to discuss all this today because it all is very, very important. Again, emergency broadcast, everybody's telling you their opinions. Everybody wants to tell you that Israel, America's right, or Iran's right. Bottom line is, it shouldn't have happened, but now we're in it. We're going to discuss today the importance of every aspect, the importance of understanding where we're at. The same people that say free Palestine, and they want all those people to be safe, are the same people saying that they're going to stand with the Iranian regime, which is harming their people. It's all double standards, it's all smoke and mirrors, and it's all politics at its best. Let's jump into this story today because it all deals with Israel, America. Could be end times or not. Could be World War III or not. It could be just simply strikes. Let's dive in. Hey guys, welcome to our channel. Thank you so very much for being here. Again, breaking into the world scenario. That's what you're hearing from people on social media. It's the end of the world. World War III is starting. I don't think so. I really don't. Now, here's the things that we have to precaution ourselves on. A few things now. Let's just be honest. We've allowed for sleeper cells in America. We know that. So the retaliation could be on our grounds in these cities. So they're actually putting cities on watch today. Cities shouldn't be in panic, but they should be very, very conscientious of big crowds. My gosh, we have a mayor praying to Allah in front of the whole New York Police Department, and then some join in. We see, big facets of it in Texas. We see big facets of it a lot of places. So don't think that it can't happen here, some kind of tax. Same way in Israel. That's why they did a shelter in place or get out of Israel today press conference yesterday, and because they knew this was coming. Now, the things we have to pay attention to. The UAE, Saudi, Bahrain, several other places were hit with Iran missiles, or they were stopped in some of those areas too. So what we're seeing here is not just an offense for Israel and the U.S. Now we're seeing Saudi, Qatar, and even UAE, which doesn't even, I don't even know if they really have a military or really have any kind of dog in the race. They're all saying, okay, this is too much. Saudi is already joined the ranks of bombing. Qatar is very close. Now, what this proves to me is this is not just about Israel, because Saudi and Qatar really doesn't have a good relationship with Israel. They tolerate them because of America. But ultimately, this doesn't mean this is an Israel thing. This is a simple, let's get rid of the Khomeini. Now, during the bombings, you can go back and look at some of the footage, and you're going to hear propaganda. You're going to hear everybody's bombed. All these kids are, you're going to hear all this craziness. But what you do hear in several videos is when the bombing takes place, you hear the people of Iran, the normal people, screaming and shouting, like cheering. Not jeering, cheering. Meaning they're happy because they're living in oppression. Now, this is the same people, the same leftists, the same white, woke right that hates, Israel and its people. The same Free Palestine people are mad that the Iranian regime is getting toppled. Now, those same people, the same Palestinian supporters, want free people and want a free land, but then they're backing the Ayatollahs, which actually puts their people in utter dismay. They said there's been over 30 to 50,000 known deaths over the last 2 or 3 months during the kind of uprising period. But they'll gripe and they'll stand with the Iran regime, which is a double standard. It doesn't make sense, does it? It just shows propaganda and media infiltration of ideology works. What this means is everybody who is on the left and the woke right, they have a reason to hate Israel or Netanyahu or Trump more. The people that's on the conservative right, yes, we don't want war, but there's not necessarily a war starting. the last time we bombed him, we're done. How many times did you hear that the last time we bombed Iran, or that when we went into Venezuela, or the talks of Greenland, every one of those situations, War 3, it's starting, it's today. And one of those times it probably can be, because biblically it's probably going to take place, and we're kind of going towards that way of flailing the American empire, definitely. But before we just go nuts, and before you hear people like Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, and all those get all upset, and you hear the Dave Smiths and Ian Carrolls go crazy and start cursing every other word about how they hate Trump and all this stuff, bottom line is this: just breathe. This is why we prepare. This is why we have things. This is why we're careful where we go. This is why we always act like the great man. Because you know what? When panic starts, you know what happens here at my home? Nothing. Made some pancakes this morning. The kids are outside playing. We'll run to town because I got to go buy a few things for our farm. And life goes on. You know why? Because we're set. We're ready. We're prepared. We don't live in big cities because we don't want to. We don't want to put ourselves in precarious situations. So my wife knows that she's not going to go to a Capitol today and stand in a stadium with a bunch of people, because that's kind of stupid, huh? See, this is where we have to have common sense. Something we don't know is why they went in. I believe it has to do with Strait of Hormuz. I believe it has to do with China, because China's oil is coming from Iran. China's power is dealing with the Strait of Hormuz and also with its relationship with Iran. If we stop that, not only do we benefit Saudi, which is definitely a Middle Eastern partner of ours, and Qatar, who I don't like, but it tends to have a good relationship with Trump, and then also with Israel. All three of these are our allies. Why in the world would we not stand with them? Do I believe we should be in the Middle East for war? No. That's very easy. But now we're here, and I voted for Trump, so therefore I've got to figure out what he's going to do. No, I don't. I don't have to figure that out. I have to trust the plan. Now, do I wish that our military and our efforts could be focused on home? Yes. I mean, I think that's not a double standard. That's me just being honest. I do want our efforts here in America. However, I don't believe that everybody should lose their marbles over what's going on. I believe there's something strategic happening because it deals with trade, it deals with the Strait of Hormuz, and it deals with the fact of oil. You don't have to agree with that, and you don't have to like it, but remember, wind and solar, even though they may be great, they're not running the world. Oil is. And here, all you people who freak out about how you want America first, you do realize our dollar has to be based on the petrodollar, which has to be based on Saudi relations, which has to be based on Middle Eastern terms, because we have to know about what petroleum is doing. That is how America stays on top. What do you think Venezuela was about? It was not about Maduro and that regime. It was about the rare earth minerals. It was the fact of the oil and the petroleum reserves. It was the fact of the Bitcoin reserves. It was the fact of power. I mean, I know we want to make this about the Ayatollah or about Maduro or about Greenland. It's about American prosperity and empire building. You may not like that, but you live in a free world doing what you choose to do, all because America does have sovereignty, and you're able to have those freedoms as of right now, because we have Republican leadership and conservative leadership, is that you can go about your business and do what you want to do. Now, compare this to Australia or Europe. They're being infiltrated even way more than we are being infiltrated. And also they've taken the rights away from First and Second Amendment rights that we have, they don't have anymore. You know why? Because they've not built their empires up. They've allowed them to be toppled. So if you want to complain and you want to get mad at Trump, or you want to get mad at the Republicans, or you don't like this Iran push, then you need to freaking go to one of those countries and you just live subservient to Islamic faith in those areas that are growing. Now, I'm not saying it's not happening here. My gosh, it's happening here. And we're allowing it to happen. Republicans are too. But it all comes down to money and power. I think what Trump is doing here is, first of all, I have to kind of just sit back and say, I have to trust the plan. I don't know. I don't know why he went in there. I'm just speculating. But if I was speculating, it's probably dealing with the oil, the Strait, and also trying to stop China from growing. Without the Belt and Road Initiative, without the oil imports, or exports, but basically importing into China, China has no power. You do realize that. China is growing its AI capabilities and its technology. Without energy sources like oil, it cannot do that. So therefore, it makes American empire stay strong. See, people don't want to talk about that. And people are scared to talk about the American prosperity and the American empire. But that is how we stay free, people. We have to make some hard decisions sometimes. I actually like this in and out. Let's get in and out. Now, if all of a sudden we open a 20-year war, that's a problem, and I'm going to talk about it, and I'm going to disagree with the president. But I don't think that's what he's doing. I think he's going to go in and out, get the strikes done, finish it up, and be done. And then just like he said last night, I mean, he came out with a chilling thought at 3 a.m. in the morning and said, Iranian people, this is your time. You may not get this in any other generation or any other president. This is your time. Either you take back your country, because we're not going to do it for you, but basically, if you're going to do it, it's now. I like that. Because what he's saying is we're not going into nation build. We're going in to take out your leadership so then therefore you can fix the problem. Venezuela, it didn't start war. What it did was put somebody in there that's going to be at our beck and call. You may not like that, Americans, woke right, left, but that is how America stays on top. We have to quit trying to act like we're doing everything just because we're nice. That's not how it works. No one wants war. No one even wants strikes. I don't. I wish everybody could live in a kumbaya moment and we're all happy and it's like the beauty pageants where they say world peace. I hope we had world peace. But sadly, it's not going to happen because you have several groups, religious, spiritual battles that truly want the end of the world, and they truly want to cause dismay and eruptions, and they truly want to cause unrest because that is how they lead. Let's just be honest. Not every person that's bad is, Islamic. And they're not all bad, but here's what you have to ask yourself. Who is the ones doing the terror across the world that's causing mayhem across the world? There's usually only one group. About 99.2% of all terror attacks in the last 30 years has been the Islamic groups. And guess who they're backed by? Well, they're really backed by a lot of other players, but Iran is one of them. And then also helping our biggest adversary, China, by getting independent oil that doesn't tie to the petrodollar, doesn't tie to our dollars. They're trying to have independence there. Again, what you don't realize is the reason you have freedom, the reason you can go to your school, you can go to your job, you can put your head on the bed at night and sleep and think that there's nothing going to take place because you've been that protected, is because the American empire is the strongest. The only way we stay strong is we have to do business. And the only way we do business is through tariffs and through negotiations. When that doesn't work, you have to have a heavy hand. You may not like it. You may think it's evil. But if you don't do it, that heavy hand will come here and destroy us. Now, one more thing. As I stated earlier, there's groups here. There's sleeper cells here. There's look for activation. Is it now? Maybe, maybe not. When will it be? I don't know. But I believe that we should be on a high security alert through the cities. Like they're saying, just be on watch. Iran came out and stated, there's been mixed reports about, the leaders are gone, they're not gone, they're alive, they're not alive. Again, you don't know. It's all propaganda. Just like if you ask a lot of the, if you go on like Twitter or they're breaking all these stories, and then when you ask if it's true or not, everybody's like, oh, it's just speculation. But they're saying fact check true. It's not. So you're going to get a lot of noise right now. Stay focused. Pray for our nation. Pray for no casualties. I mean, we hope this ends quickly. But ultimately, we have to realize that this life we live in is evil. I mean, this is a spiritual battle. This is not just about America. This is about, end of world talking. I mean, it is. I agree there. This is very biblical. Now, does that mean it's all happening right now? Not necessarily. Does that mean it can't just spark off and happen right now? Not necessarily. But that's when I come back and state the very obvious. Prepare yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, but most of all, spiritually, because that's what we're dealing with. The reason I stockpile medicine, the reason I stockpile gold, the reason I stockpile food, the reason I stockpile the things that I do, and everything about my life with defense, everything is all because when the crazies happen and the panic happens and the cities go into chaos and all this stuff starts going off, and they said there was a monster cyber attack, which is probably done by our people in Iran, to where they couldn't even access technology. Those same things can be used in here. Remember that, guys. And again, with all these sleeper cells here, no city is safe. That's why we have to stay focused. Keep a common sense head on our shoulders and ultimately keep preparing and stay focused. Pray for our nations. I mean, pray for the Iranian people. They don't deserve to be taken out. I mean, I agree. They deserve freedom. At the same time, we deserve to have a good leader over there, because we as Americans, if you want the American that you have and the society that you have, the freedoms that you have, even though sometimes people abuse those, the only way to do that is to keep this American empire strong. The only way to do that is to control trade. The only way to do that is to control oil. You may not like it, but it's the truth. I'm sorry. So end of the world, if it is, it is. Spiritually prepare and you'll be ready. Major attacks coming? Hopefully not. But if you have the things that you need, you won't worry as much. Please, guys, focus on what's happening. Don't be so, confused by all the noise and propaganda that you're going to hear the next few hours. Stay focused. Stay grounded. May not be the end. It may have begun. No one knows. But it's just time to just breathe, pray, and prepare. Simple as that. Guys, thank you for watching. God bless.
Yeah.